Right. So where are we up to?
Cool, good stuff. Ended up getting a new. I got a new broker demo that has the New York close charts.
Right.
So it's like an FX choice. So I had to start all over, but I wasn't that far in, so it's better now than never.
Good.
I'll share my screen. I had a couple changes to the strategy, kind of based off what we talked about. Give me 1 second.
Good.
So, yeah, I just kind of narrowed it down to what like closes I'm going to be trading. I ended up picking just the London and New York up until the New York close.
Good.
Pretty much because like kind of what you were saying about the like the yen and the Asian session in Australia, just the low liquidity. Seemed like no real reason to trade it. And kind of when I was back testing, I did notice a couple times that the signals that you would see in the Asian session, if you just waited, you would see like another move high or low, and then another signal. So it seems like a good idea. But even if not, like these are the sessions that like for my like schedule work the best.
Great.
I also said I'm not going to place any more trades after Thursday on the New York close, just for kind of work-life balance, but also just thinking I want to give my trades time to play out. I know like getting into Friday, probably a lot of the big players are, starting their weekends early and closing out trades. So those are like the times where I might see moves against me and against the general trend. So it seems best to just avoid most of that time. And it gives me another day off, which is kind of one of the reasons I'm trading for like more work-life balance anyway. So
Good. Good. Very good.
What else did I add? So instead of locking in the profit 10 pips above the extension when it goes low, it just seems like there's always like a little bit of a retest. And I was just getting stopped out a lot just from like what I was doing before. So I switched it to 10 pips above the or below the open of the handle that broke through the level, kind of just to base it off of like what price just showed me. So have an idea of like if it does retrace past that, then I might go see another test of highs. So might as well lock in my profit there. And it seems to have been working. Quite a few trades that saved me on, but also it helped me avoid getting stopped out for no reason on winning trades that were going to continue down after like a shallow retracement.
Got you.
I also decided I'm going to back test the 100 extension too. So I added that in. So as far as that, I finished Euro USD. The broker only goes back to 2008.
Okay.
Since then, there's been 65 trades total.
Yeah.
Out of my strategy, I think it was. Let's see. Out of those, there were 44 winners. Some of those, I just put winner if it was positive at all, but some of those were like 0.2%, and like a lot of like break evens. Like exiting. Oh yeah, I'm also exiting on Friday at 12 at the lunchtime, because I figure after lunch is when most traders are getting back at their desk and then closing out their trades.
Yeah.
And I did see that oftentimes after that candle close of the on my broker, it's the 16. After that, I've seen some nice retracements that saved me a lot. So yeah, 44 winners. Offhand, I don't know how many were closer to break even, but then there was 21 losers out of 65, and over the 10 years, got me at 54.3%. Obviously, you probably could shave some off for like spreads, and obviously, I try my best to not overlook losing trades and even to not take winning trades that don't really have a solid candle. So spend a lot of time like debating, like thinking like this is not a trade I would ever take or should take. So on the smaller scale for the 27.2,
Yeah.
I tested both the first test. When I say first, it wasn't the first entry necessarily, but the first test with divergence, whether or not I had an entry. So, for example, how do I describe it? So if I had not gotten a signal and had not entered the first trade, even though it qualified everything else, and I take the second trade, I'm still considering that a second test because I had everything besides a candle entry.
Okay.
So out of this, I had 26 trades, 14 winners, 12 losers for 14.8% pretty much. The majority of those so far were on the first test of the 27, and then I had a couple, not too many, on the second test. Overall, it was still profitable. It wasn't over many trades, so I could see as I do more pairs that see how it adds up to trading that level. For the 61.8, it was much better results so far, at least. Had 19 trades, 15 winners total, and 4 losers.
Right.
Maybe it's, I don't know, I get that level just seems to be better. A lot of really good setups as far as like win-loss percentage. Like I said, I was doing like only 100 pip max. So anything greater than 2-1, I'm still staying at 100.
Yeah.
But 3%, 2%. I think one of them was also like a 5% trade, which is really nice to see. So I had that. Another thing before I go, one thing I noticed too, I was nervous about it because just like looking at more range bound markets where there's a lot of like price bouncing between different levels and like not a strong trend.
Yeah.
Like I saw that it worked really well, and like you would see at least a lot of different occurrences. So I was a little bit nervous about like how it will work out in like a strong trending market, which happens all the time in different pairs. But it was cool. I'm trying to see if I can find a good example. But basically, I was seeing that like even like so the swings like within the first swing, like I might have a trade of one level of like the larger like this swing. I had a test of the 27. And then, but still within that swing, also going down like this trade, it was on the 61.8 of this swing within the larger swing, but that level still works. And I did see a move. And I think that trade I ended up exiting on a Friday, just looking at it. So it was just cool. I was seeing that like even a downtrend, like all the levels for like even the individual swings, like they give me good indications, and like I can be confident to enter a trade, even though it's like not super confluent with like another level. Like the smaller ones, like have smaller tracements, and then down here that was a loser. So that was good to see. And I actually had like a nice win streak somewhere. I don't recall where. So yeah, second test. In general, I'm not seeing as many tests of the second level, so I might not even trade that.
Yeah.
It just depends on how it looks. I mean, if it's like very overall the other pairs, it's like a profitable strategy, I definitely will, even though it doesn't occur that much. But I also want to have a lot of data because like 6 trades is not a lot. I can't really say too much from that. And then the 100 as well was good. 15 winners, 5 losers, and 20 trades total. Most of them were on the first test, as is the trend. Profitable overall. So looks good. This took me probably about, I'm gonna say 12 hours. I switched up my work schedule so that I'm working double shifts on Friday and Saturday.
Okay.
So I'll have all my weekdays free to both do this and eventually start the back test, because it's part of the reason I had to switch is is like I'm in Chicago, so the London session is like 4 a.m. for me, which is it's gonna take some adjusting. So I've been trying like a new sleep schedule to try to be awake at that time.
Right. So look, here's another thing from experience, Brandon. When I first started, 10 years ago now, one of the exercises I carried out was I wanted to see, because of the reduction of volatility in the Asian trading session, there appeared to be strategies with respect to momentum trades that worked very well. What that would entail me doing was basically being up from the equivalent of 10 o'clock at night through till 6 o'clock in the morning. So basically like a night shift type scenario.
Yeah.
So I did this for 2 weeks, carried out all the testing, everything looked great. But if we go back to one of the original comments that you made about work-life balance, I was basically sleeping through the day to trade at night. And some nights there were no trades, so I'd just be up all night for no reason. And it, just got to the point where, whilst from a profit perspective, I was profitable, but I was asleep during the day. And then by the time the weekends came, I just had to sleep all weekend. So from a work-life balance perspective, it was a shit show, but it was great for trading. So yeah. I just decided, look, I'm not getting into this to work the night shift and then sleep all weekend. So I just thought I just need to discount that period of activity as not being a period of open for business for my business.
Yeah.
So coming back to you and what you're saying about your desire to have some work-life balance, do you really think at this stage you want to be getting up at 4 a.m.? And more importantly, when you wake at 4 a.m., are you immediately going to be ready psychologically to assess risk management situations, call trades, take trades, manage trades? Do you think that's viable for you?
Definitely not. So yeah, I mean, I knew it was. If I was gonna do it, I knew it was gonna take a lot of like getting acclimated to it. But I think you're right. So, just to avoid that,
you just need to cut that bar out of the equation.
Okay.
Because it's hard. Like I was saying to you in our last conversation, it's hard enough doing this when everything is in your favor. Don't make it any harder by doing things like getting out of bed at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, what I suggest you do is, if we think about there's a 10 o'clock bar in UK. So what are you? You're 5 hours behind, aren't you?
Yeah, I had all the times. Let's see. So yeah, the bars for me were, well, when I would have to wake up, it's pretty much, it looks like I would just get rid of the 3:45, 4:15 a.m. one, and not trade. Wait, what? Oh yeah, not trade this one. And then I would just be trading from 7:45, 11:40, and then 3:45, which makes that's much more doable.
Right. So I mean, that's just more realistic, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so let's say to ourselves that that's, from a time perspective, that's when you're open for business.
Okay.
And that's just it. Where even if you traded round the clock, there would still be you would miss opportunities. There are always hurdles to capturing every possible opportunity. But the people who are successful identify their opportunity set from the get-go, and they don't deviate outside of that.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're doing here is you're saying, look, from 7:45 a.m. till 4:15, I'm open. If opportunities present themselves during this period, I'll execute. If they don't, I'll start again tomorrow at 7:45.
Yeah. On that note, that gives me one question that came up also randomly. On the Euro, there was like one setup that I'm in right, like that I would be in right now, hypothetically. That's it. So anyway, the um, the question, that would not be one that I would be in. But that's, yeah, I wouldn't be even have got in that. So yeah, this is a good example because here I had a bearish outside bar, and it happened during the 4 a.m. session. So let's say I wake up, get at my computer at 7:45, and I'm watching this candle.
Yeah.
Now, since this happened, am I still like, since the low hasn't been broken? Well, actually, it did. So I don't know exactly at what time that happened. But like, what would be the grounds for me to enter in on?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a good point. So with that situation, if you at 7:45 you open your shop, and a customer has been waiting outside, you sure as hell are going to let him come in at 7:45.
That's okay.
So,
Yeah.
Your shop opens, your trading shop opens at 7:45. There's a setup, which is your customer, and they've been waiting outside. It's totally that's what you do.
Okay, that makes sense then. Perfect. Okay. Good stuff. All
so
right.
What you need to do is you need to write that into your rule set now.
Mm-hmm.
So you're absolutely clear on that. If a setup develops at the 3:45, 4:15 a.m. time period and hasn't triggered by 7:45, then you're good to take that trade.
Got it. So, but if it has, you would say just wait to the next one. That makes sense.
If it has, there's another bus coming.
Yeah. Okay.
Trust me when I say that, by the time you've got, let's say, 8 pairs, you've got 8 pairs to trade, and you've got these time slots, there will be more than enough activity for you.
Mm-hmm.
So don't be worried that because you're not getting up at 3:45, you're going to miss a whole bunch of trades, because you're just not. Over the course of 6 months, 6 years, 16 years, you'll see plenty of action.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Remember what I was saying to you about when we were talking about the bars and the bar location. And I said, let's really try and get our mindset into looking at the AAA++, cannot not take this trade.
Yeah.
So in all things to do with this, let's try and think like that. That we want mentally and physically to be in the best possible shape when we sit down at the screens, and we want to take the best setups. So in the mental and physical aspect, getting up at 4 a.m. is shooting ourselves in the foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds good then.
Good.
Well, that's kind of where I'm at. So today's my day off. I worked all day yesterday. I might take a little bit of a rest today.
Brandon, this work is fantastic, mate. I mean, if you think about where you were when we started doing this and where you are now, you're a different person.
Yes.
This level of detail, the professionalism, the ability to analyze the market, you're playing a different game now. And by the time you get to the point where you're hitting the trades on the firm's capital, you'll be another step on. But I mean, you should pat yourself on the back, mate. Really, really fantastic progress.
Awesome. So
what I'd like you to do, can you forward me this notebook, or can you give me access to this notebook?
I think, let me see that. There's a share button. No, this notebook.
Yeah, if you email me so that I can dip in and out of this during the week and see what's going on.
Awesome. Yeah, I can do that. And then as far when at what point do you think I should start backtesting it? This is a demo, and I don't think it expires, so I could theoretically do it on this account.
Right. What you need to do is contact this this crew that you've opened it with, and ask them, can you extend the demo account for 3 months?
Okay.
And what I want you to start doing now is taking the trades in this demo account.
Okay. Oh, wait, that reminds me. So the last thing. So at first, I thought you had mentioned that it was going to be 1 pip is, or 100 pips is 1%.
That's right.
Well, now, one thing I'm seeing with my strategy, I mean, even though there hasn't been like an occasion that I've seen yet of like more than like in a row, there's occasionally times when I have like the greatest setups that are like 100 pip risk to like 500, and like even though it seems I've been winning, I do not, like what you were saying about like just the 10%, like I don't.
Yeah, so
like
all I'm saying with respect to as we're trading it at the moment, this 1 pip to 1%, 100 pips to 1%, all that does is it reduces. What I don't want, what I say with the people I'm mentoring is, let's not be thinking about leverage when we're doing this. At the start, let's just be thinking about pips mean prizes, and the ratio is 1-to-1. When you actually, when we go live, Brandon, it will be 0.5% equity risk per day. So if you have one setup, you can basically assign your 0.5% to that one setup, and that 0.5% can represent 100 pips or 150 pips.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, but all I want, as we're doing this forward test now, just for the sake of being us both being easily able to analyze the data, it's just easier if 1 pip represents 0.1% of the account.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so everything's good. I'll send you the folder, and yeah.
Good. This is really good. Really good work, mate.
Awesome.
Okay, I'll speak to you next week.
All right, see ya.
Cheers, mate. Bye now.
Bye.